always interesting when the online world bleeds into very real life, and that is what happened this week when the subreddit Wall Street Bets has launched GameStop and other stocks into the stratosphere, and now here onto your television.
Yeah, the TLDR is that online investors are taking down hedge funds, or at least they're trying to, where they're betting against who were at least betting against their beloved GameStop. And, we're probably not the most qualified to discuss this issue. So I thought
I make the worst financial decisions ever.
You know what? It's time for the Five Live community to finally meet Dan. We've talked about my friend Dan so often, and he is a CFA. Dan, you are the assistant VP of an LA-based services company, and I am so excited to talk to you because you said by the time I texted you this morning, 10 other people have already asked for your input in what the heck is going on with these stocks. So Dan, welcome to Five Live.
Hi, thanks, Sam and Andy, Rob. Good to see you guys live.
Before we get into this, we're going to, of course, not mention that, your judgment. You do live in Santa Monica and work in Thousand Oaks.
He lives in Irvine now.
Well, why are we doing this? I'm taking my mic off. No, I'm kidding. But you're very into this kind of stuff. What is happening for anybody who's really just like GameStop, Reddit, The Big Short, Tendies? What's happening?
Yeah. So obviously it's the talk of the town right now, talk of finance. Everyone wants to talk about it. And what's happened is you have a group of individual investors on Reddit. So just, your average Joe, it's not their normal kind of day job. And what they're doing is they've been talking about, these companies, one of them being GameStop, who is heavily shorted by a few institutional investors. So like hedge funds and some big group funds, right? And so one of them specifically was called like Melvin Capital. They have very large bets against GameStop in particular. And basically to have those bets against GameStop, they short the stock. And so when they're doing that, they're betting against it, they profit when it goes down. And they have their reasons and their beliefs of why they think that company is not going to do well. And the Reddit community, the subreddit, Wall Street Bets, has put forth their own individual analysis, right? They don't have to be experts. They're playing from home, and maybe they're experts, maybe they have insight. But what they did notice and catch on to is that there is a very large short interest in some stocks, GameStop being one of them, and that if everyone kind of grouped together and bought that stock, it would so-called squeeze the hedge funds. And the hedge funds would have to also buy the stock to kind of cancel out their bet.
But it goes so far to the point where they have to keep buying, and they have to get money from their lenders, and like the brokers then have to get more money to buy more. And I was reading that they're stopping the short. They're no longer going to short it because these bets and people keep investing in it, that they've just lost billions, and they're just saying, okay, well, we're done. We've made a loss, and that's it.
Yeah, that's right. So it's gotten very popular in the last couple weeks, and it got so popular. And again, if we talk about GameStop in particular, the return, the short-term return on this has been like going up 20% and 30% and 40% essentially a day, to where it's 100% and 200% now this week. And so what you're seeing is people who put in money yesterday had like doubled or tripled their money from a couple days before and a couple days before that. And what that means for the hedge funds is actually that, it's going to be a huge loss, right? Like they're betting for it to go down. So if it's doubling and doubling and doubling again, they have billion-dollar bets against this, and they're getting smoked when that happens. So they threw in the towel yesterday and essentially covered their bets, right? And said, okay, or at least that's what they're telling, the media. They said that they've covered their bets, they've had enough, cost them too much money.
That's an important part that you just mentioned right now. At least they're telling the media, because I'm reading a lot of this online where they're saying, well, it might not be true, and these guys might just be lying, and they're just trying to get the people to cash out so these guys could then break even and not take such a huge loss. Another thing I saw then is this, or Andrew and Sam too, this subreddit no longer exists. If you go online to Reddit, you can no longer access it. It's now either gone private or Reddit has removed it due to hate speech. And they're saying it's not associated with this GameStop surge. And it's like,
interesting.
Why is that happening? Why are they?
Well, let's take a look. I sent you a video. This is what the Discord, which is the chat feature in Reddit and others, looked like as all these people were trying to bet. Listen to this. Listen.
Come on.
Everyone talking at once. And Dan, you mentioned these are mostly, or assuming that these are amateurs. So I think they just wanted to sound like they were on Wall Street. And so they think they have a reality show.
That might have been a clip from our show, but no, that's not.
No.
Dan, can I ask you a question? Like, is there anything that these Redditors are doing that could be considered illegal? I know you're not a securities attorney, but when you hear about things like pump and dump, where a bunch of people sort of try to inflate the price of a stock and then sell it to con people, they could get in trouble. Is this the same kind of thing, or is this different?
Yeah, as you'd say, like I'm not going to give legal advice, but it seems to be in like a kind of gray area, or maybe like kind of split the fine line of, you have a lot of individual people who just decided that they're going to invest in the stock, right? And it's hard to understand or know like the means, and if the means has been discussed that it's for market manipulation, well then that could be an issue, right? And there could be issues there.
But realistically, how does the SEC even do anything about it? I mean, you just saw it's this Reddit that's filled with a ton of users who are all kind of just like playing in on this thing.
I mean, Robert, did you buy?
He did.
I don't think that's fair to say on the show. I don't think that's fine to say here on in the show here. But there's lots of
disclose that you bought it.
There's lots of different things that this is happening in, Dan. It's not only GameStop. There's other companies known as Koss, which is a headphone or earphone company. The Juice Naked, AMC. There's just so many other companies that this is also happening to, that if you really want to ride this wave, you have to find the right one. But it's very, very risky, and you could potentially just lose lots of money too. It's a very scary thing right now.
Right. Yeah. It should be noted again that I don't think their end game has ever been that we're going to hold this forever because we think it's going to be a profitable company in 3 years from now or 5 years from now. Their end game is just that, hey, there's the market opportunity that also big hedge funds have been known to take advantage of as well, where they could squeeze other people who had very large bets, right? And so that's what's happening in all of those names essentially that you've listed, is that people have recognized, hey, there's very large short interest, there's very large bets against these equity companies. Who cares whether the company is going to exist in a year or two, right? Like, I can come in now, and if everyone follows me in and is willing to pay more than I just paid, then we're gonna ruin their short bets. We're gonna ruin the people that were betting against it. And again, the end game there is, hey, what are you left with in 6 months or 3 months or a month from now? Is it if you're buying at the top, if you're the last one to buy, it's probably gonna be pretty painful. Whether you're a retail investor or anyone else.
So Dan, you are not about to give any legal or financial advice, but would you tell an amateur investor to get in on this wave of day trading, essentially?
I would not. I think the money is better spent, playing the long game. Right? It's really easy, and it draws a lot of attention, right? To see these like 1 day gains of 100%. You double your money. If you put in 10 grand today, it might be worth 20 tomorrow. Everyone wants that, but it could also be worth $500 tomorrow. And I think that story is probably going to play out pretty soon.
But the question is how soon? Because we're on Wednesday right now. Thursday, Friday. We still have a little bit of time before the end of the world, before doom happens. So
who knows?
Robert just really wants you to make him feel better.
Yeah, he called me. He was flipping out earlier today. I was like, "Why are you like?" He's like, "I'm having a day." And I was like, "Oh, what's wrong with the computer?" He's like, "No." And also, like, I'm the person who bought Bitcoin in 2017 for $20,000. Had to sell it like 2 or 3 months later. Lost all my money doing it. Now it's like, I don't know, 30, 40 grand. So I'm the worst person to talk to, but I definitely can empathize with you, Robert. That is not a good feeling. I think you and I both would be called people with paper hands, not diamond hands, people who hold it. Tendies, by the way, is short for chicken tenders. They were using that on the Reddit, which you can't get to anymore, unfortunately. Dan, I want to ask you this question before I talk anymore.
Dan's on a tight schedule. He's like, how long is this? I've got things to do.
I know.
My real job is taking over.
That's true. Well, hopefully you can help us make sense of the insanity that is the world for just a little bit longer. But Jim Cramer, who some have watched on television before, said that he thinks that this shows that the normal mechanics of the market are dysfunctional or are broken. Is that true, or what do you think about that? In context of like a bunch of people on Reddit deciding to like push a stock in a direction or not.
Right. I just wanted to know if this is going to change trading in a meaningful way going forward.
I have seen this play out multiple times with different names in the past years. And to me, it just feels like it's played out again. And now it's got more eyes on it because it's happening in a Reddit forum that a lot of people could, check in on.
Interesting.
But, you would like to see regulation in some ways that would like help or prevent crazy things from happening in the markets. But it's also really hard to tell people that your investment thesis is wrong and mine's right, because that's what it's going to feel like for one side always, right? That's what makes a market. Someone thinks it's going to go one way, someone thinks it's going to go another way.
I don't know if more regulation is the way to go, though. I'm
love Robert in this segment.
I want this to not be an option for me in the future. What are you talking about, Dan? Cut that out.
But
I want to play this stupid game.
One thing I am reading, though, is some are arguing that Trumpism has a role to play in this because the whole concept of this is
one Vulture article, Robert.
Well, it's just saying how it's just giving the middle finger to the elitist, and that's what it is. And I think that's what these Reddit users are doing. These are regular day people, ordinary users, not people who trade constantly. And I think they're having fun actually getting a little bit of revenge, a little bit of payback.
I think it's so misguided because it's like, sure, you're talking about like fat cats and hedge fund managers, and you have this idea of Wolf of Wall Street in your head, but like a lot of these hedge fund managers, or even just money managers, or people who are moving their money around like this, are also dealing with large amounts of money that could be from anybody in the population. So it could be your 401k, it could be your money that we're talking about here. Probably not, I guess, right? Because this is a little bit more risky already.
Yeah, like in some sense, you're right. Like pension funds, for instance, right? Like could have hold this stock, right? Or they could have account managers who could take positions for or against this. And usually they've all laid out in kind of what they're allowed to do, the rules of the people, like the investment managers that they might hire. But in some sense, like everyone's money is in it, right? Like your 401ks, you typically own equity indexes, and a lot of these companies, if they're either in the equity index or they used to be, maybe now they're too small to make them in some of the bigger ones. But
well, one thing I do hope for, guys, is to start seeing more GameStops now in every corner. The way Starbucks comes up with this little surge, I hope to start seeing more GameStops everywhere. I used to love going in there and spending 15, 20 minutes and playing on the PlayStation 1 or whatever it was.
Yes.
Robert also had the AMC monthly Stubs pass.
But he also, you hear what he said. He went to GameStop to just play their free game for 15 minutes. Bought anything.
I guess those people who thought it might not do so well this year were right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like GameStop, and I think Dan, you said this too. It's like GameStop's going the way of Blockbuster, right? Yeah. The reason people are shorting GameStop is because it's the pandemic. Malls are shut down. Nobody's doing in-store shopping. Games already are easier to get online. When you buy a physical game anyway, you got to take it home and download 2-3 gigs of updates anyway. So there's no sense in just not buying it digitally. So I understand why it doesn't look to be a good company. Unfortunately, Robert, I don't know if we're going to see more, but you can come over to my house when the pandemic's over and play some games if you want to.
Dan, I'm so thankful for your time. I did ask, is there anything you want me to plug or any social media? And he said, no, I don't want random people following me. Just let them know that I am a CFA and I am qualified to talk about this. Dan is being very humble. I know he manages very large amounts of money for his company.
He actually owns GameStop.
He actually owns GameStop.
No,
I think he actually sent me also a text off chain saying that he wants us to pimp Kevin De Leon's charity.
Not you with that, not us without you. Dan, can you recite the Pledge of... No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Dan. Also, before you go, we did want to know, now you're working from home, so you can go back to beloved Irvine, but do you regret living in Santa Monica and working in Thousand Oaks?
No. I do not. I enjoy that very much. And I was here today just as a personal friend of the show, not on behalf of anyone else. So.
Don't
But yeah,
worry,
no,
you did
I
not
like
mention
I like
your
the drive.
employer and you
I like
gave-
drive.
Well, we're talking over each other, guys.
No, I would say Dan did not give any legal or financial advice, and we did not mention his employer on purpose. But
Yeah.
Dan, they should be so proud of you.
Yeah.
I thought you were very
The
informative.
folks at Reddit/GameStop are going to be real proud of Dan. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank y'all so much for sitting and listening to us talk about money. Robert, I hope it all works out for you. Dan, thanks so much.
Thanks,
We
Dan.
will see you guys real soon.